Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, January 27th. Despite what you might be hearing about rock star, rock icon Neil Young and his riff with Joe Rogan, wanting his music taken off, to be suspended from all Spotify and everything like that because of what Joe Rogan has said about, well, you know what? That's actually not true. It's come to my attention. The real reason why Neil Young left Spotify is because my podcast is on there. It's true. It's from a source that I have been saying mean stuff, mainly about video games and video game developers. And Neil actually has a son who develops video games. And he was like, no way. No way, no how am I going to have my music on the platform that my son, who's a developer, and this idiot, this moron right here, is just going to be shitting on what he does, and how video games suck nowadays, and they're just not up to speed. And nobody saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. But, they're telling you that it's Joe Rogan. It's not Joe Rogan. It was me. I solely, my stupidity and my dumb podcast actually made Neil Young want to quit Spotify. Made him want to quit it dead on. It's like, I can't be on the same platform as this man known as the Intelligent Moron, where he's able to spew all of his mean comments about video games and the people making them and the people who run them and the people who delay games and who make games worse than they've ever been in the last 20 years. He's also been known to call out movies, TV shows, where he gives his opinions on them, and how he'll say mean things about a TV show or a movie or a game. Or he'll make fun of a celebrity who doesn't drink water. Who is my dear friend? That's why I want my music off that program. That's why I wanted it off that platform. So if you are seeing that it's Joe Rogan that caused it, that his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, has been the sole purpose of why he wanted to be off of Spotify, that's not true. It's actually me. Well, am I sad about it? Yeah. A little bit. But in all, we always have Apple. We'll have YouTube. We'll have iTunes. We'll have Tidal, if that's even a thing still. But no, that's clearly not true. Everybody's right. Everybody told the truth, I guess. He is, it is because of Joe Rogan. Why he's off of Spotify now. And I'm not a Joe Rogan sympathizer. I'm not a Joe Rogan. I don't attend the church of Joe Rogan where we, talk about MMA and we talk about vaccines and we talk about this and then we talk about that, or, about COVID-19. I don't treat him as a god, but from time to time I do kind of enjoy. I enjoyed more of his older podcasts back in the day. Not necessarily I don't listen to him, from time to time I do, but I do wish that he would not talk so much about COVID or so much about vaccines. I miss when he would talk about aliens and when he would talk about, apes and grizzly bears and all that stuff and like animals and stuff like that, and ancient Egypt and ancient Greece and times in history and conspiracies, and those were the fun times. Those were fun, and I miss that. I want him to bring back Bob Lazar or somebody to deal with aliens, because that's what I liked about Joe Rogan. That's what I continue to love about Joe Rogan. When he has those banger episodes, when he's got like 3 other comedians there, when he's got a scientist about having to deal with aliens, or having to deal with Bigfoot or something like that, or Sasquatch, or the Nessie. Oh man, those episodes were the shit. But I don't know, just it's kind of weird how like that all went down. It's crazy. But it all, it kind of, you think about, like, Spotify paid to have Joe Rogan on their platform exclusively, right? So you think about it and you're like, who's going to win in that battle? I mean, is Joe going to be kicked off, or is Neil Young going to be, fuck you, you have a contract, you got to abide by that? Like, I didn't really go into the details about it, but Neil Young seemed pretty pissed off and was like, nope, get my music off there. And surely it did. It happened. And it also kind of, you wonder, well, is this just the first one to do it? Who's going to be next? Is it going to be, I don't know, Hannah Montana's going to be next? Is the Jonas Brothers going to be next? Corey and the Boys, are they going to be next? Is it going to be, some of the biggest icons in music history? I mean, are they going to be next? I don't know what's going to happen. I truly don't know, and I fear if I lose Corey and the Boys, if they come off of Spotify, that'd be tragic news. More, I think, bigger than Neil Young. Bigger than that. If you actually do take off Corey and the Boys and Feeling the Love, their all-time single, I might have to, quit you. You might have to just fire Joe Rogan if you take off Corey and the Boys or Hannah Montana. But mainly Corey and the Boys. Jonas Brothers, you can, whatever. They can leave. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, who's going to be next? Who would actually follow Neil Young and going away from Spotify? If this is going to hinder Spotify, is this going to hurt them? Is it going to be like, oh, well, we got even more viewers now, even without Neil Young or subscribers or whatever? I mean, but yeah, it's up until Joe Rogan even signed with Spotify, I never really considered them to be a home of podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always kind of figured that they'd just be music only, that's it. But once they, a couple years ago when they signed Joe Rogan to that exclusive deal, I was like, okay, they're shifting. They're wanting to be more into podcasting, not just music. But I don't know. I always kind of feel like they were more of a music space than a podcast space. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. But we always have, Apple. You always got iTunes. You always got that. I mean, I understand that Spotify, if you're an Android guy, is like your main hub for music, I would say. I mean, I'm pretty sure like it's got to be more used than Google, I would assume, like on an Android device. But can we be honest with Spotify right now? That app on the phones, at least on my iPhone or iPhones in general, is just not up to speed. It's not that great. Doesn't really perform all that well. It's got loading times. It kind of feels like it lags a bit sometimes with video. If you do watch if you have seen one of Joe Rogan's podcasts on there and you actually try to watch it, it's not the best playback system. It's not up to it's good for streaming music. Like if you're just listening to music, it's pretty good. But if once they implemented the video thing and then the skip ahead and all that, and it's not that great. So Spotify, the big problem that you have is your app itself. It's got to be more up to speed. It's got to be optimized. It's got to be better. Because even though that Apple Podcast is not video, it's not, it doesn't have that. It's just far superior, I think, to what you have on Spotify. Not to say that it's, they don't have video, so it's going to be a little bit easier, but just in general, I think it's just an easier platform to navigate and to control and to use, I think. So that's kind of, that's just kind of where I'm at with that, besides that. So, until I actually piss somebody off, for real, this program will stay on Spotify. It should, have no actual reason to, scare off any musicians. I don't think that I will scare anybody off looking at you, all these musicians who have their music on there. Drake, I would assume, is on there. The Weekend has got to be on there, right? Unless they're like exclusively to like Apple or whatever. Yeah. What if it's like becomes like there's more of that now with like artists, like music, like you can only listen to music exclusively on Spotify now, like kind of like what happened with Joe Rogan. Like what if that happens? Like, what are we gonna do with that? Because back then you could just buy a CD, a cassette, MP3. You can buy that on iTunes back then. Remember iTunes back when that was a thing? Like, you actually had to buy the song. Like, it would cost you 99 cents to buy a song. And then you could pay like 20 something for an album, maybe 15 something for an album. And then boom, you would have the song. Now we have like streaming music and all that, like Apple Music and Spotify. You can just pay a subscription and pretty much get almost every song that you want. I mean, I'm sure there are some that you have to pay for on iTunes, and get it through there. But like for the most part, every song that you probably want is available for streaming, whether that be on Spotify or Apple Music or even something else. You know what I mean? What a time back then when it was. Back when I had an iPod Nano. My first iPod was an iPod Nano. I think it was second generation, and it had the glossy white one and then the shiny metal back, and it was like 2 gigabytes. I could fit 500 songs on there, and I was like astounded. I was shocked. I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know 500 songs. What is this? I had like the wheel thing that you can like spin to like either to use the menu. You would spin it which way or the other to go up or down on the menu. The center button was select, and then had the buttons on the left side, the right side to skip forward and go back, and the bottom button was play, and I believe the top button or the bottom button was play and pause, and the top button was menu, so you can like go back on a menu or whatever and choose a different song or do something else. They also had like a Pong type game or something like that. They had a couple games on there that were pretty cool. And then you got to the bigger iPods that were like maybe the size of your palm or a little bit bigger, that you could actually play like, music and all that, but also put movies on there, music videos, pictures. I remember like you could have like a photo album or a gallery on that, and pretty much whatever video you wanted. If it could be on like if you could put it on there, it would be on there. Or if you can put it on the iTunes library, it could be there on your iPod. And then we got to the iPod Touch era, where it's like no more buttons, no more, or no more, just one home button, but a touch screen. And I remember back in the day, like in high school and junior high, or actually just in high school, where I went through a phase where I would be like, this is so cool, this is sick, but I want to make it more customizable, more cooler than just changing the background. And I was introduced into like this new high-end software technology, AI programmed, high security software called Jailbreak, where you could change like the icons, the way they look on your iPod or iPhone back then, and it would change everything. Like it would change like the icon of like the weather, the phone, the menu would be different, the lock screen looked different, some apps look different and all that, and it would be like this revolutionary technology where you could make it like any theme you wanted. Like you wanted a Halo theme, you got it. You wanted it a Star Wars theme, you got it. You wanted a you want your little slider on the bottom to be, how you slide left to right to open your phone. You want that to be a lightsaber, you got it. You can do whatever you wanted basically. However, it would slow your phone down immensely. I don't know if that's a word, but it would slow it down drastically. Slow it down. Like functionality would be bad. You want to type something on it, it would be slow and stuttery. If you wanted to look up something, it would be slower. Opening up an app would be slower, depending on who did it for you or how good the jailbreak was. But usually, for the most parts, when I did it with my experience and seeing other people do it too, it was always slower. It would always be slower, and in one shape or form, it would just be slower, a slower device. And that was just back when you had an iPod Touch, because the phone wasn't that popular back then. Richer kids would have it, or on the richer side would have it. But usually if you weren't like super rich, you would not have an iPhone back then. Back in like 2006 to 2010, you would not have an iPhone. They were just super, super expensive. Like maybe like a $600 back then when they first came out. But back then for a phone, that was like so expensive. That was super expensive. Like, ugh. No way that anybody I knew would like get that like day one. And a couple people did, but it was like very, very rare that they would actually have it and show it off. We've come a long way with how that technology's progressed and advanced. And sooner or later we're not going to be using phones. We'll have like another device or another thing that's another trend that's going to happen. I mean, you see how there's more phones that now flip phones are now being a thing, that they're not the same as they were back then. Like with the Razor, you flip them open, you got another touchscreen, but it's just like more compact now. You can have an option of being like, you flip it, you fold it, it's more compact, but then you flip it open and then you got more screen. So it's like, it's a, double whammy there. It's a bang, bang. You get a bigger screen when you flip it, and then you close it, one more compact, boom, it's closed. And it's more functionality from like the smaller side. And then you flip it open, you get more options and more multitasking options and more stuff like that, that you could actually use to your benefit and use to your, your daily life. You want to show people something and do another thing on your phone. True multitasking technologies usually in those phones. I've seen it happen. I've seen it. Like, they can block off like the screens and all that and make a couple things like, that you can actually like divide your screen nowadays. And you can nowadays with an iPad. You can do that. It's like true multitasking now with an iPad. If you got like the latest software, but I think on an iPhone, still can't do that because it's just the screen is just too small. And even if they did have that functionality, that capability of dividing an iPhone screen, it's just, for me, it would just still be too small to even want to multitask for like a true multitasking thing, like having your screen divided into two. I just think that the screen is still too small, and just not something that I would want to have. Yesterday was a special day, and not a special day, but it was a day of remembrance. Yesterday was a day of remembrance. And it was the day, January 26th, 2020, the day we lost a legend, the day we lost an icon, I think. The passing of Kobe Bryant. And not to get on a somber, sad note of the podcast, but I think that we have to, especially I have to kind of bring this up because a lot of people nowadays, they look back, they watch the NBA, they watch how it is now, they have their favorite teams, their favorite players, whether it be Kevin Durant, James Harden, Jason Tatum to Ja Morant, Julius Randle, Zion Williamson, LeBron James, you name it. Like, there's icons, there's superstars, there's all-stars, there's Luka Doncic, international stars. There's a lot of, stars out there and a lot of icons in the making. LeBron James being like, the forefront in like the NBA, being like so-called, titled the best player on the planet and all that. But you people into the NBA, like if you're getting into it, if you're younger, maybe like 10 or 12, like starting to watch more NBA, getting influenced by these stars that we have currently, will never really appreciate or ever really, feel what it was like to live during the time of Kobe Bryant, during the time when he was in the NBA, just ravaging other teams and winning championships, and his impact on the game in the sense of, in the lens of only basketball, and how it's played today, and how ruthless he was on the court. Him always being a Laker with Shaquille O'Neal, Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher back then, and winning championships and three-peating. I think they did three-peat, or if not repeat twice. No. They three-peated and I believe repeated. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that. But just remembering his impact on the league and as a person and as a man who was so dedicated to being the best basketball player ever. Like he wanted to be so badly to be like, if not as good as Jordan, better than Jordan. Now he never quite got there in my opinion, but he sure got close. And he played basketball, I believe, the best way possible. He was part of the era in like the late 90s to the mid 2000s, right, like towards the mid 2010s, where he just like is like right before social media, right before like the internet boom and all that, where he really just focused in and just kind of like played ball the way he wanted to and the way he went about it, being super competitive and just being a cunning, the Black Mamba that he is, that he's, called the Black Mamba. Like, just like, we haven't seen a player quite like that in a while. I mean, LeBron's come close, but I still think he's more on the softer side. Whereas Kobe would just be like the ultimate competitor, besides Jordan, like just go at guys and truly like want to beat them at their, at their best and at his best too. And just like really be, one of the, I guess, pioneers of the modern day game, you could say. And he was that. The way he shot the ball, the way he attacked the rim, the way he would, later in his career, he got more into passing more and just facilitating and just, always being like a automatic bucket, an automatic scorer, and just being that kind of player that he was, And he's got the 5 championships to prove it. To add to his legacy, and just like, I still can't go like, every so couple weeks or few days where I think back like he like Kobe is not with us anymore. Like he's passed. And it's for me, it's just like, I still can't believe that he's gone, just because of like how good that guy was and how like promising his life was going to be after he retired. And then when he was going to be a family man, a father, he coached to his daughters, like he had so much in front of him to, to continue in life and to make an impact, while still like, mentoring current players like LeBron and all of them, and Jason Tatum, and going to games and seeing people play that are in the league now and giving insight and influence, like, and just like, he had so much left to do, and it got cut short. And like, I never really like truly get sad about like that many famous people or famous athletes or icons like that, but I do from time to time do miss Kobe Bryant, and just think like, wow, we were just cut short from his life. Like his life just got cut short, and we did not get to see what he was going to achieve in the future. And it's just it's sad, because he was going to do great stuff. I hope that his wife and his other daughters are doing well, because I mean, just for them to lose like him and his daughter and all those other people on the helicopter that day is just, it's really sad to see, not see, but just it's sad for them to comprehend that, and for them to go about their lives, and just even and how much his life touched everybody else. Shaquille O'Neal, for one. I remember like the day or a couple days after he did pass, and just how much it affected Shaq. It just like it truly, like, that they fought and bickered and argued during their times in LA, but like they patched it up and everything like that. But like, just to see like how fragile that really is, and like, you think about in life, like, maybe I should call that person, maybe I should text that person or go talk to that person, because you never really know. You never know that how long you got. And I think Shaq was saying like he regretted not talking to Kobe as much as he wanted to, or he wanted to talk to Kobe more, and that he didn't get that opportunity to do it. And then you just think, it's like, wow, I mean, yeah, life is, life is precious, life is fragile. You never know how long you got. So, yeah, I mean, like, not to be somber, not to be sad, but, just kind of look, have a better outlook. We can still technically say Happy New Year, right, to some person that you haven't seen in a while, right, because it's still January, but just have a better outlook, make that your resolution. Call that person, talk to that person, maybe have a dinner, have a lunch, have a beer or something, go do something. I don't know. Make an effort to rekindle friendships or rekindle relationships or whatever you want to call them, acquaintances, friendships, rekindle that. And I just reach out more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, and have a better outlook. Now, not to get, stay on the sadness, I guess you would say. It's more of a reflection and more of like a I don't know the word I would say for this. I didn't go to, I wasn't smart in school, but just kind of like a better outlook, just having a better outlook, but not to, stay sad and keep the mood down. I don't try to do that often, but I feel like it's necessary to just like, and just with how great that man was, Kobe Bryant, just never forget, rest in peace. But not to stay in like in that mood. Moving on to gaming, I guess we could say, and moving on to a pretty much confirmation that we are going to be getting a sequel to Warzone. Now, if you don't know, I've been a big fan of Warzone, since the summer of 2020, when I really got into it and I really played it and I really enjoyed it up until then, up until recently. Through the games that they've come with it, with Black Ops, that update back in 2020, or 2020, and then the update with Vanguard in 2020, late 2021, and then up until now, I've had my ups and downs. I really enjoyed it when it was first out, and then the first full year with Black Ops, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It did dip a little bit for me, but up until now, the way it's been on my console, my Xbox Series X, and just, virtually unplayable, I've had to temporarily delete the game from my internal hard drive. Now, I'm not denouncing it. I'm not saying that it's never going to be played again, or it will, by me at least. I'm not denouncing the game. But I am temporarily taking a break from it. I mean, I am temporarily I'm not into it right now because it just doesn't work on my console. Now, maybe within a couple weeks after the season 2 comes out, maybe I'll jump back in to see if it's any better, and they've made their statements and all that stuff like that. That's it. They're gonna improve it, but at the moment, I don't want to play it because it brings me nothing but anger and frustration. But the news of in 2023, I believe they're going to be releasing a new Warzone, which will be, along with another Call of Duty, I assume. That's going to be released at the end of this year. But a new Warzone, which has me excited. It has me thrilled. Because as much as I enjoy Warzone, as much as everybody else enjoys Warzone, it's this game, I think, this engine, this iteration of Warzone, I believe has run its course. I believe that this is the end of this. After this year, it should be the end of this engine and iteration of Warzone. Why? Because I just feel like very little has changed about it, like in terms of mechanics and gameplay. Like virtually nothing has changed about it. Only new maps and stuff like that. But it's been the same thing for it's going to be now over 2 years. If it came out in March of 2020, 2021, March 2022 is going to be 2 years of the same thing. So I think that with that being said, and that and the news coming out, the confirmation that's going to be a new Warzone, I'm through the roof. I'm ready for this to happen because I just feel like, right now games are at an all-time low, and you got me. I'm back playing PUBG with my friends. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I'm playing that right now. I'm having some fun with it, but I did not expect that because I just thought that we wouldn't still be in this COVID era. I guess I thought I guess I thought too positively for that to happen, but we're still in it. So, um, I want this to happen, right. It's got to be right. And I think what's going to happen is, if the rumors are true and this new up and coming Call of Duty is going to be a Modern Warfare 2 sequel or a new reboot, continuation from the Modern Warfare 2019. I think that this is the perfect opportunity for, the new Warzone to really, to be a full restart. And, what I'm saying is that the current Warzone has Modern Warfare 2019, that's the core of it. That's the core gameplay of how it plays. Then you got stuff like weapons and all that from Black Ops, and then you got weapons and all that from Vanguard. It's just, right now, if you think about it, if you look at it, it's just a gigantic mess of the past 3 Call of Duties. And hopefully with this new announcement, it's going to be, and if they move away from the annual release date and give the game a little bit more time to breathe and a little bit more time to develop it and a little bit more time to add new stuff and new features, that I think, for one, it'll be better for one, the developers, and two, just the lifespan of the game, and to make it worth my while, I think. Now, is that going to be making the game free? Is it going to be making, more of a live service where we have to wait more, and all that stuff for more content? I think that that's, eventually going to happen. But in the case of Call of Duty, it being what it is and we all knowing what it is, I feel like it just suits it better. It was always an annual thing, and you get a new Call of Duty every year, be a new era, be a different time period, different guns and all that. I'm ready for it to settle down to one era, like as what I said back in 2020. I didn't think that that Modern Warfare, the game, had to end, or had to be, there had to be a new Call of Duty, like a new, like Black Ops Cold War. I didn't think that had to come out, because I honestly thought that Modern Warfare was a good enough game to continue it and make it even bigger than it already was. Like, the engine was good, the gameplay is good, the multiplayer was great, the Warzone was kicking off, and it was just, you keep adding on to that, more modern stuff. But, we got Cold War, and I think at first everybody was like, oh, a new game, a new, Call of Duty. It feels different. It's, Treyarch now. It's a little bit more arcadey. Some people like that, some people didn't. I was on the side that didn't really care for it, but, played it anyway because of, friends played it and all that. But as it went on, a lot of people just quit playing it, because ultimately I think that after a while you're like, Modern Warfare was just a better game. Like, this is fun and all, like, this is cool to play, but Modern Warfare is where it's at, and Warzone is where it's at. And, like, I'm not saying that, that they all just flock to the Modern Warfare multiplayer. No, they flock back to Warzone. But, if you don't want to play Warzone and you want to play something similar to that, then, the Modern Warfare multiplayer is, like, pretty much the same thing, just Battle Royale and, traditional multiplayer. So you got that. And then, you could say, like, maybe it was because Modern Warfare 2019 got a better development because it wasn't during a pandemic. Maybe because even in the future, games like, Vanguard just doesn't look that good because of a pandemic too, and even Black Ops Cold War because of a pandemic. The game just, regardless of that, the game, Modern Warfare is just a better game. Just it's better. It looks better. It plays better. It's got better audio. It's got better quality. The quality is really there in that game, I think. And then Black Ops and then Vanguard, it's been going down as we've gone forward. And you can call it because of the pandemic, just a bad break in time where people can't be working. You got people quarantining. You got, halting production and parts and shipping and all that. You got to adapt. Right, you got to think of a better strategy to, continue your business. And hopefully with the, it being acquired by Microsoft and all that, that they will do that. They will go to a no longer annual title, because it just, now you think about it, because since we've been away from the modern time of Call of Duty for a while, that it's going to be a breath of fresh air again when you go back to it. Like if they actually do the Modern Warfare 2 sequel in this coming up year, people will be happy about it. And I think that people have been wanting to go back to modern day since the release of Black Ops. Honestly, I really do, because I just think that game wasn't quite done yet, you know? Because there's something that I saw in Modern Warfare 2019 that's like, this game should not be being put to rest yet. Truly shouldn't be. I mean, this game's got more legs. We can do more things, especially with the Warzone and all that. You know, putting it back in the 80s, you just kind of, it wasn't too far back where you limit, you know, the capabilities of Warzone and what you can put into it, but it still is kind of a crutch. It's like, well, we can't put all this stuff that would be in modern day in it and make it a true, like, modern day you know, battle royale or even game experience. You know, you're kind of like making it harder to put stuff in and make it, you know, similar to Modern Warfare 2019. So it getting a hard reboot, which is what I'm, you know, gathering from this, is going to be like a sequel to Warzone, which is going to be hopefully a brand new game. Hopefully it separates itself from the actual Call of Duty games. And what I mean is, like, it's its own thing. It's got its own engine. It's got its own thing. It's not going to be tied to the actual Call of Duty games. Like Warzone was tied to the way that, you know, Modern Warfare worked, essentially, because like you got like the same kind of menu, the same loadout, the same, you know, gunsmithing, it all kind of integrated. Maybe it's going to be its own thing where it's like taking the best from Call of Duty games that we've had in the past, maybe a little bit different than that, and its own UI and all that, its own thing. That way it doesn't seem like they have to put everything that's already in those, you know, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, and Vanguard into the game and just make it a big, gigantic mess. I mean, if you think about it right now, we're playing in a World War II island setting map with guns from Modern Warfare, guns from Black Ops, guns from World War II, and we have World War II style buildings, we have World War II style cars, Modern Warfare style cars, we have helicopters, we have planes from World War II in it, and we have, it's a mess. It's truly a mess. You can't say that it's not. It is a mess. And it's like they put everything in it because of their model of annual releases. Maybe with this being, maybe them going forward with non-annual will give their game more time to breathe and more potential, more development to that game. I hope that's the case, because it's just like the constant bombardment of these games that came after Modern Warfare 2019, you know, Black Ops and Vanguard, that just both seem to me very uninspired. It just feels like an empty void. Like I'm playing like it's a big ball of nothing. Like there's clearly a surface, and you can touch it and like there's work done there, but on the inside it's just hollow. The games just feel hollow, and I feel like in order to make better games, you got to move on from that model of every year we're going to put out a game. It's going to be different. It's going to be at the core very similar, but it's not going to be what you were already playing the year before. But it's going to be new though, and you got to buy the newest thing, right? Because got to make money, so we're going to make it new. But that was the old model before, like battle passes, before season passes, before microtransactions and all that, before monetizing skins and all that, before all that. That was before all that. Now we have that. Now you can truly, actually develop and work on a game and make it good and, to last longer. What if they take the Halo method? I was talking to my brother about this. What if they do like the method, the thing that Halo is doing, where they've said that Halo Infinite's going to be like the mainline Halo game for a few years to come, like maybe 5 or even more years, where they keep updating it and they keep making it look good and making it look better, with I don't know, bigger updates and all that, more seasons, more battle passes, and more, adding new things and changing new things, and maybe eventually putting in a battle royale for Halo, making it so that game has more longevity. That way they don't have teams just making new games that are, seem new, that they say are new, but they just seem old at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like Black Ops was a new game. It was technically a new game, but it felt like an old game. Just the way that it played for me, it just felt old. Same with Vanguard. Like it was a new game that was coming out. It's a new game, but it just felt old. It just got like a reskin that didn't look that much better, and but it was titled the new game, the newest Call of Duty. So it's like, how much time can you really make it new within 1 year of turnaround? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just take a step back and re-gear. Maybe Microsoft does this, maybe they don't. Sure seems that they're going to go that way, but actually take the time to develop the game properly, make it good, make it have longevity, give it legs. I think that's what gamers would want now. Give it a 2-year span. Make one of the games have 2 years. That way you could really take your time, because Call of Duty games are not, revolutionary, per se. They're an FPS, so they're not like cutting edge in mechanics or graphics, but they can be. They surely can be. So I think that's good news. It's a good start. It's what I want. It's what I think the franchise needs too, and I think what gaming also needs. I mean, we are in a lull, but I think with Call of Duty, for them to go not annual is a big step forward in that franchise, and in that, to make better games in the future. I truly do. I truly, truly do. All right. Moving to sports, the NFL. Now, before we get to the divisional round madness this past weekend, I want to touch up upon our good old friend AB and what he's been doing, what he's been saying out there. And he's been getting quite the media tour. Now, he's been getting some, episodes on podcasts. He's got an interview with Bryant Gumbel of HBO Sports. He's been going on the record saying some things about about what happened in Tampa Bay. With saying that he was hurt and he couldn't go. And Bruce Arians was saying, like, you're done. Stuff like that. I don't know the full details, but you can watch them. You can look them up right now if you want to. But he's essentially saying that a bunch of stuff that could be in danger to the Buccaneers if it is intended, if it actually is true. But one of the things that he was saying that did not tie into anything that about his situation with the Buccaneers was that he wants to continue to play, and he wants to play with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. And I just think that the way that organization is run, with John Harbaugh and Ozzie Newsome, and with Lamar Jackson that they have at their quarterback, I don't know if AB is going to be a fit there. And I know that he still wants to play, and I feel like he still thinks that he can play at a high level. But after what he did, and again, like, we don't know if what's true or what's not true. I mean, I'm sure if the NFL would actually man the fuck up and release those mic'd up of what happened with AB and the Buccaneers on that Sunday, we would know so much more. But we don't know it. That's probably never going to come out. So until we get the actual truth, it's hard to say what team should do, what AB should do, because we don't know. I'm sure the NFL does know, but they got to make it public eventually, right? Like, there was so much speculation going around AB, and if he's mentally okay, which me or you, if you're not a medical expert or a mental health expert, have really no liberty or nothing to say about it, because we're not mental health experts. We technically can't say anything about it, so we can only speculate and only kind of view like something might be wrong, but I'm not going to say like, oh, he's got CTE, oh, he's got brain damage. No, I can't say that because not a doctor. But it just drives like more confusion. It drives more, stuff like it makes the media go crazy because they probably don't know the full truth either. And if the NFL were to just pony up and just release the audio to find out what really did happen, and it would be solved so quickly, whether he's a whack job or not, whether Bruce Arians was, being mean or not mean, but being like, I don't know, like not putting the player's safety into first and foremost, if that's true or not, we just don't know. So NFL, release the fucking tapes, release the audio. We got to hear it, because the more you don't, the more this stuff is just going to get even crazier and crazier when it doesn't have to be. If it doesn't have to be, and you're just doing it to do it, to be crazy, to get headlines, and that's bad on you. And it's also bad because you're straight up making somebody like have to, go through all these hoops and battles with media and with reporters and with fans and with other people, podcasters and all that. Just release the audio. That's all you got to do. Release the raw, unedited, uncut audio. Shouldn't have been edited. Release the raw and uncut audio of what actually happened. That way we can put this AB situation to bed. Is he actually crazy? Does he have a point? Was BA being was stepping out of bounds of his his what he can do and can't say to a player? Like, what happened? We need to know officially what happened. But I feel like him wanting to play with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, I don't think anybody's ever gonna pick this guy up again if we don't know the full truth. We just got to know the truth. Whatever happened that day, I'll be real. Probably will never see the light of day. But if you choose to keep that under wraps, just know that you're going to be stuff. It's just going to get even messier and messier because we don't know the full truth, and in order to solve this problem, we have to find out what happened. So it's such a mess, and it could be easily fixed. But I feel like the NFL it's got audio that they don't want out because it probably is really bad, and it probably is like bad on the Buccaneers, and that's like one of their premier franchises at the moment. So it's like it's just a mess, and it all comes down to being business. And what's going to harm and hurt your business. And if this gets out, and if it's actually pretty bad, it's going to hurt them a lot. So, it's audio that could fix everything, but also hurt everything that the NFL has. But, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if it was really that bad, AB would be digging deeper than he already is. I mean, he's already saying that the coach was out of line and all that, but I just feel like there might be something more than that, but who knows? But just like, him talking about, like Bruce Arians wasn't really his guy. Tom Brady was his guy. Tom Brady got him there. Tom Brady was like sticking up for him and all that because Tom Brady liked him. He knew that he was good enough to play and that he needed another chance. And, Bruce Arians was saying like he was not for AB. AB was, at that point, like, not sought after, but like, we got to stay away from that guy because he's crazy. But again, there's a lot of evidence to say that AB might not be fully right. The Instagram lives with those cops, other things that he's said, other things that he's done, how he just kind of, hoodwinked a bunch of teams and disrespected coaches. It's all. There's a lot of things on both sides that you can point at that's saying like, well, why would he do this if he wasn't, that wasn't his motive. So it's just a lot to take in. It's a lot to think about, but it could be that situation in New York against the Jets could be easily cleared up if you just release the audio. It's not going to be pretty, but I think that's why they're not releasing it, because it's not pretty. And that there's been a lot of lies being told, not a lot of truth. So Not to knock on the NFL. I mean, they are a business. They do have to, do what's right for their business. But at the same time, it's like, ugh, you also got to do what's, correct. And if AB, got, treated badly, by, Bruce Arians or anybody else on that staff, maybe there's some punishment that's got to be handed out. I mean, you've already seen that Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles are already being interviewed for other coaching positions, other places. So maybe they know something was bad there, that maybe they want to distance themselves from Tampa Bay. I don't know if Bruce Arians is going to be the head coach next year. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know if that organization has got a little bit of, I don't want to say blood on their hands, but like a little bit of a, situation there that might be bigger than we think. I don't know. I truly don't know. But moving on, though, not going to talk about that anymore. It just popped up because AB's been speaking, he's been talking, and he's been saying some things with, whether it's on a podcast or Bryant Gumbel on HBO Sports, and it's been, catching my eye. And making me think, like, what really, now that we've all kind of seen what happened that day, and now it's all been, the dust has settled, and we're already, like, kind of aware of what's happened, and, time has passed, and I can really look at it with, like, not a bias, without bias glasses on, and actually see it for what it is, and try not to, judge and look things over and really see what happened. But moving on, though, what an insane weekend for football that we just had. Insane weekend. Probably the best games, the best slate of games that we've had in a long, long time, because the Super Wildcard weekend was not very good. It was. There was like maybe 2 good games, but for the rest of the games were just kind of blowouts and like what you expected. But these games, on the other hand, were fucking amazing. And I'm going to go through them in order because I feel like that the more you go on, the better they get. But we'll start off in Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee, where the Bengals beat the Titans 19-16. Now, I have to say, I've been talking about this for a while, where Ryan Tannehill has not, he's a good quarterback. He's good. He's had some very good games. He can manage the game pretty well. He's a game manager, right? He's been proven to do that. He can take care of the ball for the most part. He can throw some amazing passes, amazing deep balls. That touchdown to A.J. Brown, I mean, Jesus, was like it was perfect. A perfectly thrown ball. He caught it with like one hand and then like his side pads. Essentially one-handed. It was a perfect ball. He can do all that. He can do checkdowns. He can do running passes. He can run the ball too. He can, run pretty good. And he can play quarterback at a pretty high level for most times. But as I've said in the past, he's still Ryan Tannehill. He's going to do Ryan Tannehill things. And starting off the game with an interception as the first thing you do, you pass it, intercept it right then and there. I mean, that's just not a good start. I mean, you just can't do that. I mean, you're the number 1 seed in the AFC. Barely, but you are. And you open up the game with an interception like that. And then you just keep going on and on and on. And yes, the game gets better for you. And then you get your last, you can take this game to overtime. You could, get a first down or just run the clock out and punt it and have them try to, get into field goal range, which you can, you could stop them, but you make a dumbass pass and you essentially give the game away, at that last possession that you had, where you have like 20 seconds left and you can just punt it away and they take it overtime, but you didn't do that. You throw it away. You just throw away an interception so easily. And then it's just, boom, it's over. It's done. You lose. I mean, you got Evan McPherson on that side just kick away, who's basically automatic nowadays. It just shows to me that this experiment with Ryan Tannehill has probably run its course. I mean, everybody back when he first signed there, that he already wasn't that good. But it's like a new start, a new coach, a new system. Let's give it a shot. And it worked for the most part. Like, they've had some pretty dominant years, pretty consistent years. But when it comes down to show, when push comes to shove, Ryan Tannehill just will do Ryan Tannehill things. He will do it. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And I think that if you're the Tennessee Titans, this experiment is over. He might be done in the NFL. Maybe not the NFL, but he's probably done with the Titans. I mean, I can't see them bringing him back. I really can't. And it's not to say that he's trash. He's not trash, but he has that. Those interceptions just don't leave you, man. They don't leave you, and it's pretty. It happens far too often, and when you expect it, it just continues to happen. He never really breaks out of that. And now you got the Bengals continuing. Joe Burrow played pretty well, stayed cool, but really in control of the game for the most part. I mean, they did lose the lead. They did tie it up. The Titans did tie it up on them, but, never really in doubt. Were like truly in question. Truly like thought that they could lose the game. They played well. They played consistent. They played good defense. They have a great offense, I think. They truly do. I didn't see this was a game that I didn't see that I saw the least of because I had to do some stuff, but from what I could tell, that the better team did win. The Bengals came into Tennessee. Like I said last week, the Tennessee Titans have been there. They've done it before. They can do it again. They just not their year, I guess. They can't continue with this Tannehill thing. It's probably not going to work out in the future. So the Bengals move on. Next game, 49ers beat the Packers 13-10. Now, I've been saying this for a while, for quite some time, that Aaron Rodgers is good. He's a very, very good quarterback, a great quarterback. Usually, every year, he's in contention to be the MVP. He's probably going to win it this year, to be honest with you. He'll probably win it. And he's been pretty good in the playoffs, too. I mean, he's beaten teams in the playoffs, multiple times, whether it be the Rams or any other team in the NFC he beats. Not the Bucs, though. But him against the 49ers, I don't care who's on that team. They play them tough. Either it's that or Rodgers just can't beat them. I'm starting to think that he just can't beat them. Or they just know him so well. Because they had a home field advantage, home game in Lambeau Field, the momentum on their side. They had the cold weather, which they're used to. 49ers are not. And they make it so rough on Aaron Rodgers for him to only score 10 points. Made him feel so one-dimensional, right? Only playing basically Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, very one-dimensional football, just turning the ball over, and their special teams are shit. But honestly, if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're only scoring 10 points on the 49ers, that don't score that much either. Only 13 points. I get that it was cold, but still, I mean, that's just a massive, massive disaster if you're the Packers. There's just no way around it. So I people are saying that he might retire, he might leave, or he might retire. I don't think that he's going to retire, but he definitely might leave though. But also, like he was saying like a couple days ago, that he has pretty good relationship with the Packers now, that he's feeling good about them, he's feeling confident about them, so he might not leave them now. But he did say at the beginning of the year that this is basically a tryout. Like, does he want to stick around with these people, with his organization, with these coaches? Does he really want to stay? Like, is it going to be, for sure that I'll stay? I'm not sure. I could see him leaving for sure. But that just means that there's going to be so many teams out there that just want him, that want to pick him up. And but I think that this is just like a all-time, disaster if you're the Packers. You lose the way that you did, and to the 49ers, who have had your number for the past maybe 3 years. Just Jimmy G can say that he owns the Packers. He owns Aaron Rodgers. He's outplayed him. That team has outplayed him. I mean, they straight up just got outplayed. At their own field. So, I mean, you can blame special teams. You can blame the offense. You can blame that the 49ers defense is just so much better. But at the end of the day, you got to score more than 10 points. And for Aaron Rodgers and his weapons to not do that is just a colossal failure. So, I mean, that it's probably going to just get they might go for a rebuild, maybe. They might have to, trade away Aaron, maybe even Devontae, who knows? I don't know. It's just it's going to be, if you have Devontae on that, on the Packers still, and you want to, run it back with Jordan Love. I don't know if Jordan Love is even that good enough to even play with Devontae. To be honest with you, I just feel like when he did step in when Rodgers had COVID, it just seemed like not even close to what they wanted and what they were capable of. So I think they got to rebuild that thing. Start from the ground up. Just build from the ground up. It might just be that time. I mean, also, you think about it, he's been chasing another Super Bowl for the past 11 years and not getting there. I mean, to go your entire career in Green Bay, playing at Lambeau Field and getting one Super Bowl win, one Super Bowl appearance, I believe. It's crazy to think about that, but that's true. That's what happened. Moving on, though. My game. Rams beat the Buccaneers 30-27. I mean, we were dominant from the first half of this game. Even towards the end of the third quarter. Pretty much dominant and just stepping all over the Buccaneers. They couldn't do anything. They seemed dysfunctional. Tom Brady wasn't given enough time to throw the ball. We were pressuring Brady like a motherfucker with Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey. We had some studs on the defense, man. Our defense is really, really good. The Rams defense is so good right now. We're playing very, very well. And then they just came back, man. The end of the third quarter, they scored 10 points. And then they scored 14 in the fourth quarter, and it just got dicey, man. There was fumbles, a bad snap from our, center, and we just turned the ball over left and right. It was pretty insane of a game, to be honest with you. Super stressful. Definitely was not fun to watch if you're a Rams fan. I mean, oh my God. Just the amount of times that we were just giving that game away. I mean, we were lucky to walk out winning that game because they tied it at the end, and then we just got a dime from Stafford to Cup just to ice the game, to seal the game, and just in the nick of time of regulation, just to end it right then and there. Whew, I mean, we are lucky because that was going to be ugly if we actually ended up losing that game. Ugly, ugly, ugly. But I'm happy. Even though we could have played better. We could have played a lot better towards the end. We were dominant in the first half, like I said, and even in the third quarter for most parts. But the fourth quarter really got scary. I got scared. I was having flashbacks of, the Super Bowl when Atlanta was up 28-3, and they just lost it. Then I was praying that was not what was going to happen, because that would have been just a disaster, But things to take away. Stafford played good. He now has 2 straight playoff wins, Matthew Stafford, after being 0-3 prior to this season. He played well. Cam Akers played well. Cooper Kupp played amazing. Odell was efficient. He didn't score any touchdowns, but he was efficient. Kupp played great, 183 yards, 1 touchdown. But yeah, really solid performance. Good game. Entertaining too, to say the least. And I don't know if Tom Brady's going to retire yet, but he didn't look very sharp in this game. He did look pretty sharp towards the end of the game, but I don't think he's going to be wanted to be coming back and back and back. from games being down all this much. They really shouldn't have been. I mean, they're a pretty good team. They got some solid ass players, really really good players, but just didn't really go their way this game. But yeah, happy to be moving on and happy to be playing the 49ers next week. The Chiefs beat the Bills 42-36 in one of the best games I probably have ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. It was back and forth. It had the matchups were great. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Great receivers, great tight ends, great not so great defenses, but just everything you wanted. It just had everything. It had everything. It was an entertaining game, back and forth, overtime. Listen, whether you're, just you wanted Josh Allen to win and the Bills to win because you're tired of the Chiefs and all them, you want them to change the rules because they lost. Listen, if Josh Allen got the ball first, they would have won. And the Chiefs fans would have been saying the same exact thing that the Buffalo fans are saying right now. The same exact thing. Should they be changed? Maybe, but not for this game. Not because the Chiefs won. Maybe to make it more fair in the future, maybe. But not just because of this game. Not because of what happened in this game. That's just the way it happens sometimes. And we're fine with it sometimes. We're fine like, oh yeah, well that team deserved to win. Well, the Chiefs deserve to win. I mean, the Bills had 13 seconds of played good defense to stop the Chiefs from getting into field goal range, and they couldn't do it. They just could not do it. And that sent the game into overtime, and then the Chiefs just got the ball back first. They got the ball first, and they beat the Bills. And you can say all you want, yeah, Josh Allen deserved it. He probably did, but so did Patrick Mahomes, the way he played. The way they both played, they both deserve to win, honestly. I mean, they both played incredible football, some of the best football I've ever seen between two quarterbacks, especially from Josh Allen. Josh Allen throughout the game, but Patrick Mahomes when it needed to happen, oh my God. Just clinical, surgical, calm, cool, made the right plays. That final catch by Kelsey, towards the end of the game, I mean, to end the game was incredible. Just like, it was a beautiful catch, a beautiful throw, beautiful catch. He had to roll right to throw it. It was amazing, amazing game. Did I want the Bills to win? Yes, just because I'm sick of the Chiefs being so damn good. But the Chiefs deserved it. They deserve it. They are that good. They're incredible. They're a great football team that deserved it. I'm happy that Patrick Mahomes raced to see Josh Allen and to hug out Josh Allen, just to hug with Josh Allen, because listen, I think we're getting the this generation's next Peyton versus Tom Brady, but it might even be more even because Tom Brady just basically would destroy Peyton Manning every time that they would play, essentially. But this might be a little bit more even. The Bills beat the Chiefs earlier this season, pretty convincingly. So we got a lot more, games and playoff matches that could happen with these two teams that eventually are going to happen. It might be even more, heartbreaking than this one. We'll see in the future, because I mean, this was just the divisional round. Last year they played in the conference championship. That had to have stung even more, just because they had they lost a trip to the Super Bowl. But this ultimately was more like just more gut wrenching because of how much effort went into it, how much they played, how much they played for that, and just like the true struggle throughout that game and the overtimes and all that, and just how badly the defenses played towards the end. Truly an effort that just was cut short, just fell short. Otherwise would have been still an incredible game from both teams. So looking to the future, looking to the conference championship weekend, championship Sunday is what they call it, what I call it, what everybody calls it. We got the Bills and the Chiefs. As much as the Bills, not the Bills, not the Bills, Bengals and Chiefs. as much as good the Bengals played, the Chiefs just beat the Bills. And I just don't see the Bengals even coming close to beating the Bills. I just don't see it. So I'm going to take the Chiefs on this. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this and move on pretty easily, I think. I mean, the Chiefs did lose to the Bengals in the regular season, but this is playoff Chiefs. These are the playoff Chiefs. These are the Chiefs. They're not messing around now. They're not messing around now. They're not going to be cute anymore. They're not going to be flashy. They're just going to play you and beat you. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I'm going to pick the Chiefs for this game. And the next game, 49ers versus Rams. Listen, I know that the 49ers play us very, very well. And they do. They play us extremely well. You know, up and down the field, offense, defense, they play us super, super well. But I'm pretty confident with this game. I know that we lost the game, you know, to close the regular season out, that we blew it. We needed that win, and we lost it. But I think that we're going to learn from those mistakes. And we're going to get it at home. It's going to be at SoFi in LA. And I think that this team that we have right now has battled so much to get to where it is now, to be in the NFC Championship game, that we just can't blow it this time around. We know that the last time we played these guys, we blew it, and I think now that after beating the Bucks and beating the who do we beat? I'm blanking on who we beat. Oh, beating the Cardinals and then beating the Bucks. We are well equipped to beat these guys now. I know that they just beat the Packers, but they didn't play very well, even at home. I just feel like that we're the better talented team. We have more weapons. We have a better defense, and I think that we're just hungrier at this point. And we know that this is going to be a home game, and that we have a lot on the line. We got to show up, and we have to beat the 49ers, because the way that they did us at the end of the season is just, it was not acceptable, and we have to move on from that. And what better way to beat these guys at home, to go to the Super Bowl that will also be at home? I mean, we have all the momentum. We have all the motivation to do it. We just have to do it. And I fully, fully believe that we can do it, and that we will do it. So I'm going to take the Rams, my Rams, to beat the 49ers on Sunday. So the Super Bowl prediction is going to be Chiefs versus Rams. And that's it. That's what I think. That's what I think is actually going to happen. I think that you can pretty much pencil that in at this moment. I just don't see the Bengals beating the Chiefs. And I don't see how the 49ers could actually, how we could let the 49ers beat us at home to go to a home Super Bowl in SoFi Stadium. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I truly, we just have so many people on that team that want to win a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Donald, Von Miller again. I truly don't see them stopping us from getting there. I truly, truly don't. Now, they've been there. That team has been there, a couple years ago against those, these Chiefs. And they lost to the Chiefs. I don't think that they have the same hunger that we do. Especially after losing to these guys at the end of the regular season. I just think that we're hungrier. That we'll beat them for sure. So yeah, Chiefs Rams for the Super Bowl. Chiefs Rams. So that's going to be it for me today, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you could listen to this episode and every other episode of the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Again, once more, thank you for listening. Get those ratings up. Rate the podcast. Review the podcast. Star the podcast. Whatever you do. Thanks for watching. Again, remember to like the videos on YouTube, subscribe, and share, and do all that stuff. And I will see you guys next week.